Hi everybody, welcome this morning. So today's class is going to focus on working on firing up our core and building some core strength. And so let's go through some of the props you might need. I have some blocks up here. So what you might want is some type of support surface. And so that could be yoga blocks, that could be the seat of a sturdy chair or a low coffee table. You might also want a strap today. Our peak posture is going to be dancer, and we're also going to do a couple seated postures at the end where a strap might be helpful. If you don't have a yoga strap, you could also use a belt or maybe even a light hand towel just to give your arms a little bit of extra length. You're also going to want a little bit of wall space towards the end. A wall also might be helpful during some of the balancing postures. And then last but not least, if you have a comfy blanket or a stack of folded towels, that might be nice in some seated postures to give you a little bit of a lift. So let's get started. I'm going to have everybody take a comfortable seat on your mat. If you'd like, you could do this whole first section seated in a chair as well, or on the edge of a couch or on the edge of your bed, wherever you are in your practice today. And let's do a quick body scan. So I'm going to invite everybody to close down their gaze, rest your hands on your thighs, and let's check in with where our body's at today. So let's take a minute to notice our hips. If you feel any tension in your hips or any stress, I'm going to invite you to raise your lift. So maybe bring a block under your blanket, or maybe move into that chair or couch that you have available so that you can bring your hips a little bit higher than your knees and take the tension out of your low back and hips. Let's begin to start with our core and find a little bit of engagement here to keep our body upright. Take a minute to notice your shoulders. If you feel any rounding here in your shoulders, any tension in your neck, maybe give yourself a nice big shoulder roll back to remind yourself to draw your shoulders down away from your ears, your shoulder blades down on your back body. Let your crown start to lift up towards the sky. Find a long spine. And the reason we're doing this body scan is because today is focused on building our core strength, those abdominal muscles and those other postural muscles that help support us when we're standing and moving about our day. A lot of times when those muscles fatigue, we try to recruit help. And when we recruit help, we can put a lot of stress into other parts of our body, like our hip flexors, our low back, and even our neck. And so we want to be mindful today. And our second intention is going to be kind to our body. And so as we go through different postures and poses, I'm going to give you guys some options and choose the option that works best for you where you are today. So from here, let's open our gaze back up and let's begin to warm up our neck. So take an inhale here, reach your crown towards the sky, ground your sitting bones down on the mat, and exhale, draw your chin down towards your chest and lift your chest up to meet your chin. Inhale, let's begin to slide our chin along our chest up until our gaze is past our left shoulder. And exhale, let's slide on back, chin to chest. Inhale, let's bring our gaze up over our right shoulder. And exhale, chin to chest. Move at the pace of your breath. Your inhales, bringing your chin up and over, a gentle twist in your neck. And exhale, chin to chest, long line through your upper back and neck. Don't lose that engagement that you have in your core. If you feel your lower back start to sway, see if you can pull your belly button in. Let's take one more to each side. So one more peek over the left shoulder. And then one last glance over the right. Exhale here and chin to chest. And then on your next inhale, rise back up so your gaze is facing forwards again. From here, we're going to start to warm up our spine, and we're going to come into a few seated cat-cows. So get resituated, Find that breath, your comfortable breath for today. And on an inhale, begin to use your hands to help draw your belly forward. Open up through your chest, gaze lifts. And then on an exhale, begin to round through your spine. Gaze drops, and you can use your arms here as a little bit of tension to help deepen just a bit into that rounding. Inhale brings you back up into this seated cow. So roll your shoulders back. Feel that widening through your collarbone. And exhale, we begin that rounding. And feel that stretch this time in your upper back body between your shoulder blades. Keep moving at the pace of your breath. We'll take a few cows, a few cats. Be mindful to let your breath guide the movement. So let your inhale happen just a moment before we start moving into our cow pose. And your exhale just a moment before moving into cat. Our spine's moving like a wave from our tailbone up to our crown. And let's take one more cow, one more cat, wherever you are. When you're ready, we'll return to our neutral seat, and then we're going to make our way onto hands and knees. So as I come over, I'm going to set my lift or my towel off to the side, so it's available for me in a little bit. And to come into hands and knees, let's see that our wrists are under our elbows are under our shoulders, and then let's scooch our knees back so that they're under our hips. Sometimes in this tabletop position, we have a tendency to sag into our low back, and bring that integrity back to your spine. Press away from the mat. Hug your belly button in, away from your shirt. Find that long spine. You can have toes tucked or untucked here. I'm going to be tucking them now, just because there's a little bit of balance involved and it might help you out a little bit. On your next inhale, extend your left arm and your right leg. So there's a straight line from your left fingertips to the sole of your right foot. Take a moment here and find your balance. Inhale, really reach through those fingertips, press through the sole of your foot. And exhale, we're going to draw our elbow to knee, and it's kind of a crunch. Inhale, extend. Exhale, contract. Inhale, extend. Exhale, contract. Inhale, extend. We're going to keep our leg lifted, but exhale, release your left arm. Inhale here, and then exhale, slowly we're going to touch our toes to the right outer corner of our mat, and we're going to do some rainbows here. So inhale, rainbow our leg up and over, and touch your right toes towards the left back edge of your mat. So move at the pace of your breath. Inhales are going to rainbow up. Exhales are going to drop our toe down. And what we're doing right now is we're just opening up through our hip flexor, warming up our hip, and keeping our core engaged. So check in with your low back. Check in with the back of your neck. Keep a long, straight neck. Let's take one more on each side. One more toe touch to the left. One more toe touch to the right. And then let's release back into hands and knees. If you want to take a quick moment off of your wrists, you can sit up, maybe stretch into your wrists for a moment. And then we're going to begin to take it to the other side. So wrists under elbows, elbows under shoulders, knees under hips. My toes are going to be tucked. And then on an inhale, let's extend our right arm and our left leg this time. So find that long, straight energy. Our left toes are pointed down towards the earth. Our core is engaged. One more inhale to really reach through your right fingertips and press back to the sole of your left foot. And exhale, let's bring that elbow to our knee. Inhale, extend. Exhale, elbow to knee. Inhale, extend. Exhale, elbow to knee. Inhale, extend. Keep that leg lifted. Exhale, release your right hand. Inhale here. And exhale, let's drop that left toe to the back left corner of the mat. And we're going to start those rainbows again. So inhale brings our leg up and over. And exhale, we touch our toe to the mat. Just like the other side, move at the pace of your breath. Move as slowly as you need. We're just warming up our core, warming up our hips, and getting a little bit of a stretch through the front of our body. So let's take one more on each side. So one more touch over to the right, one more touch over to the left, and then release back to hands and knees. And if you like, again, you can sit back, stretch through your wrists. We're going to spend a bit of time on our wrists today. So if you ever need a moment, feel free to come into this wrist stretch, or feel free to always come down to child's pose. So from here, we're going to keep our toes tucked. We're going to have the strong hands and knees posture, and we're going to begin to send our hips up and back for our first down dog. So take your time here, pedal out your feet. So bend into one knee and lift that heel, and then bend into the opposite knee and lift that heel. Focus on our down dog is creating a long spine. So feel free to have a generous knee bend. Maybe your heels aren't coming down to the mat yet, and that's okay. Use your core strength on an inhale to send your hips up and back a little bit higher. Exhale, maybe send your crown a little closer to the mat, creating some space between your ears and your shoulders. Let's find stillness here. And on an inhale, we're going to send our right leg up high to three-legged dog. And exhale, slowly begin to bring your knee to chest. And maybe you pause here, or maybe you keep sending your knee up towards your left elbow. Inhale, three-legged dog. Exhale, knee to chest. Maybe you pause here, or maybe this time we send it towards our right elbow. Inhale, three-legged dog. One more time, exhale. We're all going to stay here, knee to chest. Pause for a minute, and then step all the way through. Drop your back knee, and we're going to come into a hip flexor stretch. So if you like, you can grab that towel or folded blanket and use it to support your back knee. And then once you feel comfortable, begin to send your hips down and forwards. We're going to stay open through our chest, so roll your shoulders back. Maybe that means coming up to your fingertips, or if you have that support, coming up to hands on bricks, or maybe on that support surface that you have. We're going to take a few breaths here. If it feels comfortable to you, you can reach back and bend into that left knee to begin to open up through your quadricep a little bit more. Let's take one more inhale. If you've been into this left elbow, exhale, release. Let's set our blocks off to the side. Remove our prop. Plant our hands, step our foot back to plank, and you can take the vinyasa of your choice. So take a nice inhale here. Exhale, either lower to chaturanga, or maybe this first time we come all the way down to the mat. Inhale to upward facing dog, or roll your shoulders back, lift your chest, baby cobra. Elbows down. Exhale, release. Inhale, tuck your toes, engage your core, send it up to plank, and then exhale into downward facing dog, where we're all meet. So again, take a moment, maybe pedal into your feet, find that long spine. Inhale here, exhale, maybe press your heels a little bit closer to the earth. One more breath in. Exhale, release completely. Inhale, let's send our left leg up high. Three-legged dog. Exhale, let's draw that knee towards our chest, and then maybe send it over towards our right elbow. Inhale, Three-legged dog. Exhale, knee to chest. Maybe we send it over towards our left elbow. Inhale, three-legged dog. Exhale, everybody's gonna come knee to chest and pause for just a moment before we send our foot all the way through, drop our back knee, and come into that hip flexor stretch. So if it felt good on the other side, I invite you to bring that lift or that support just under your right knee, especially if you're on a hard surface like I am. Begin to send your hips forward and down. And then open up through your chest. So roll your shoulders back. Maybe we're coming up to fingertips, or maybe our hands coming up to our support surface. Let's take a few breaths here. If it feels good, I'll invite you to bend into your right knee, reach back, and you can add a little bit of a quadricep stretch. No pressure. Let's take one more breath in. If you have taken this option, exhale, let's extend our knee. Let's move our props up to the side. Shift our blanket off to the side. And then everybody's gonna step back, meet in plank, and take that vinyasa of your choice. So inhale here, and exhale all the way down to the mat, or maybe this time we come down to chaturanga. Inhale, baby cobra, or maybe up dog. And exhale, we're gonna all meet, sending our hips high to downward facing dog. We're just gonna be here for a few breaths, so take a nice big inhale. Audible exhale. Nice big inhale, long spine. Audible exhale. Maybe we reach our heels a little closer to the earth. One more inhale. Last big audible exhale. And inhale, let's slowly begin to walk our hands back to our feet. And exhale, forward fold. So in this fold, feel free to have a very generous knee bend. You can even bring your chest to rest on your thighs. Release through the back of the neck, the crown of your head down towards the mat. Take another breath in. Another breath out. Inhale, let's rise to half lift. Hands come to thighs. Reach your crown forward, your sacrum back, and engage through your core to support your low back here. Shoulder blades flat on your back body. One more breath in. Exhale, bend into those knees and fold. On your next inhale, one vertebra at a time, we're going to rise all the way up to extended mountain. So arms extend overhead. Our gaze can look up past our fingertips. Exhale, release, mountain pose. So take just a breath or two here. And then we're going to make our way to the front of the mat. And we're going to come into our first sequence. And so before we get started, I'm going to show you an option. And so from our first down dog of this sequence, we're going to make our way into a side plank. And that side plank is going to be up on our hand. And so if you feel like that's going to be too much for you, I'm going to give you the option to go into a side plank from your forearms. And so when I cue you, I'm going to have you come down onto a forearm plank, and then you're going to turn with the rest of us into a side plank, either here on your forearms or on your forearms with your knees down. So whichever option feels best for you, these are available. Otherwise, you can join me up on our hands. So let's find a strong mountain pose. So toe mounds can touch with our heels V'd out a couple inches, or maybe we keep our feet under our hip points. Begin to engage through your thighs, through your core. Give yourself a nice shoulder roll up and back to draw your shoulders away from your ears. Crown reaches up towards the sky, palms shine forwards, fingers are zipped together. Take a breath in here, breath out. Inhale, let's begin to shift our weight into our right foot. Exhale, ground down through all four corners of that foot. Inhale, we're going to lift our left leg until our left thigh is parallel with the mat. And then exhale, we're going to slowly step back into a high lunge. Plant our left hand on the inside of our right, and inhale, begin to open up to the right side. Right fingertips reach towards the sky. Maybe our gaze looks past them. Exhale, back leg is strong and straight. On an inhale, if we haven't already, maybe lift your heel over your toe mound. One more breath in. Exhale, unwind, plant both hands on the outside of your right foot. And then on an inhale, we're going to step our left foot up about a foot's length and turn our toes out 45 degrees. So we're coming into warrior one feet. Exhale here, ground down through the pinky edge of your left foot, the toe mound of your right foot. And on an inhale, let's rise, hands to hips. And exhale here, get your balance. Inhale, stack your right knee over your right ankle. Exhale, ground down to the pinky edge of your left foot. Inhale, let's turn our hip points to face the front of the room. Exhale, tuck your tailbone slightly to find length in your back. Inhale, find some lightness in your upper body. Extend your arms overhead. Exhale, roll your pinkies to the midline and draw your shoulders down away from your ears. Virabhadrasana 1, Warrior 1. I'm going to pause here for a few breaths. If it feels good on an inhale, maybe pull your thumbs back to open up through your chest. Allow your gaze to lift a little bit. Let's take one more breath in. One more breath out. Inhale, we're going to begin to straighten through our right leg. And for everybody who was here last week, this would be familiar. Exhale, let's fold at our hips. Pause halfway. So inhale, really feel the sensation in your upper back body. Keep your shoulders pinned to your back. Keep your chest open. Exhale, engage through your core to support your low back. Inhale, reach your fingertips forward. And exhale, send your sacrum back. One more breath in. And exhale, release. Release your hands to the mat or maybe to your bricks or support surface. Allow your back to round and fold over your front leg. There can be a gentle bend in your right knee. Long back of your neck. Release your crown. If you notice your hips starting to turn outwards, pull your right thigh bone back into the hip socket to square your hips. One more breath in. Exhale, begin to bend into your right knee and pivot on your back foot so that your heel is lifted and we're up on our toe mounds. And on an inhale, we're going to begin to rise up into Warrior 3. So lift your back leg, toes are pointed down towards the earth, flexion in your left ankle. And from here, you can have your hands down, or maybe we play with lifting one or both arms. Finding a strong line of energy from our fingertips to the sole of our left foot. And remember, you can always lower your hands if you try to raise them and it becomes a little too intense. One more breath in. And then exhale, slowly begin to bend into your right knee and send your left foot down into our high lunge again. Take a breath in here. Breath out. And then inhale, we're going to step or drag our left foot up. Inhale, extended mountain. Exhale, fold. And we're going to make our way back into downward facing dog. And so if you'd like to step back and take a vinyasa, you're welcome to do so. Or you can just send your hips up and back and we're meet in plank. So as everyone takes their time to get here, this is your moment, if you know you're going to take your forearm plank, to come down onto your forearms. So take that option if you'd like it. Otherwise, hang out here with me in down dog. One more inhale here, long spine. And on an exhale, begin to roll your heels and your hips towards the right, opening your chest towards the left side wall. Inhale, extend your left arm overhead. Your gaze can lift up past your fingertips or stay neutral. Exhale, see if you can firm your shoulder blades and your sacrum on your back body to keep your shoulders and hips stacked. Inhale, find some lift in your bottom hip so that you have the straight line of energy from your crown to your feet. Your feet here can be staggered or stacked. And then if you'd like, there's always the option of lifting your top leg. That's challenging. Or the option of coming back down onto your forearms. So wherever you are, take one more breath in. And exhale, we're going to all make our way to downward facing dog. Just for a breath, take a nice big breath in here. Audible exhale. Then inhale, walk our hands back to our feet. Exhale, fold. Maybe take a bind, so you can bind at your elbows. Bind behind your legs. Or maybe your second and third fingers wrap around your big toe. Another breath in. Another breath out. And inhale, one vertebra at a time. We're going to rise to standing mountain pose. So keep our arms down. Give yourself a nice shoulder roll at the top. Palms shine forwards. Close down your gaze. And notice where your body's at. So check in. How's your neck feeling? Your hips, your low back? Are we choosing the option that fits our body best this morning? Take another breath in. Another breath out. And then we'll open up our gaze, make our way to the top of the mat. And we're going to take that to the other side. So let's find our strong mountain pose again. Toes touch, V out our heels, or maybe our heels are under our hip points. Begin to engage through your thighs, through your core. Give yourself a nice big shoulder roll back. So draw your shoulders down away from your ears. Reach your crown up towards the sky. Zip your fingers together, palms shine forwards. Take a breath in here. Breath out. Inhale, begin to shift your weight into your left foot. Exhale, ground down through all four corners of that foot. Inhale, lift your right leg so your right thigh is parallel with the mat. And exhale, at the pace of your breath, slowly step back into our high lunge. Plant your right hand in the inside of your left foot. And inhale, open up to the left side wall. Left fingertips reach towards the sky. Maybe our gaze is past our fingertips. Exhale, strong and straight back leg. Maybe on an inhale, we lift our right heel over our right toe mound. One more breath in. Exhale, unwind, plant your hands. Take the vinyasa of your choice. Actually, we're going to keep that foot forwards. And we're going to step our right foot up about a foot and out 45 degrees. I'm just going to skip our warriors. So from here, exhale, ground down through the toe mound of your left foot, pinky edge of your right foot. And on an inhale, rise up, hands to hips. Exhale, find your balance here. Inhale, let's stack our left knee over our left ankle. Exhale, really strong and straight back leg, ground down through the pinky edge. Inhale, you can use your hands to help guide your hip points forwards. Exhale, let's tuck our tailbone slightly to have this long spine. Inhale, find some lightness in your upper body, extend your arms overhead. Exhale, roll your pinkies to the midline, draw your shoulders away from your ears. Virabhadrasana 1, Warrior 1. We're going to take a few breaths here, like we did on the other side. And if it feels good on an inhale, maybe we pull our thumbs back. Open up a little bit through our chest, the front of our body. Our gaze is going to lift a little bit. A couple breaths here. On your next inhale, begin to straighten through your left leg. And exhale, we're gonna lower and fold at our hips to the halfway point. Inhale, pull your shoulders back, keep your chest open. Exhale, engage through your core, support that low back. Inhale, reach your fingertips forwards. Exhale, send your sacrum back. One more breath in. And exhale, release. Hands can come down to the mat or maybe to blocks or your support surface. Relax through the back of your neck. Crown can lower. And remember from here, if you're starting to notice your hips turning out, just pull your left thigh bone back into your hip socket. One more breath in. And on an exhale, let's bend into our left knee and pivot on our back foot. And inhale, let's rise back up to our warrior three variation on this side. So toes are gonna turn down. Long straight line of energy from the sole of our feet, maybe if we choose to lift one or both arms through our arms, but tune in with your body. If you're noticing that you're starting to pull into your low back or into your neck, drop your hands right here and focus on just your leg. Engage through your core. Keep a strong back body. One more inhale. And exhale, bend into your left knee. Send your right foot back down. And let's take that vinyasa of your choice. So you can step back to plank. And we're all going to meet in downward facing dog. So from here, we're going to begin to make our way onto our left side plank. So if you'd like to choose that forearm option, now's the time to come down into your forearm plank. Otherwise, you can hang out with me up here. Take a nice big breath in, full breath out. One more breath in, long spine. And exhale. This time we're going to begin to turn our heels and our hips over to the left. Open your chest towards the right side wall. Inhale, extend your right arm up towards the sky. Maybe your gaze looks past your fingertips. Exhale, ground your shoulder blades and your sacrum on your back body. So your hips are stacked, your shoulders are stacked. Inhale, find that lifting through your bottom hip. So it's a long straight line from your crown to your feet. Your feet can be staggered or stacked. Your option here is to lift your right leg or keep it lowered. Take a couple more breaths. Deep breath in, deep breath out. One more good inhale. And exhale, let's all make our way to downward facing dog. Just one breath in here. Full breath. Release the entire breath on your exhale. And then inhale, slowly begin to walk your hands back to your feet. Exhale, fold. Maybe take that bind. So bind at your elbows, maybe behind your legs, or maybe those second and third fingers wrap around your toe mounds. Take a couple nice breaths here. If it feels good, you could even take a rag doll and swing from side to side, or sway, I guess. Take one more breath in, one more breath out. And inhale, we're going to rise slowly all the way up to mountain pose. Close down your gaze here for a moment. Return to your breath. Maybe notice any heat that you've been building over that last sequence. And as you're ready, we're going to make our way into our main balancing posture today before we come down into our seated postures. And so you might want to have a strap handy. And you also might want to be close to a wall, or maybe even a chair that has a high back. Those would be good options just to help you as you try to balance. And so our main pose today is going to be dancer. And I'm going to demonstrate that for you and give you an option to use a strap. If you decide that that pose is just not something that you are up for trying today, or it's not something that looks like it'll fit your body well, you can always come into a warrior three. So that last warrior that we did in our first sequence, where we have our arms extended, you can always play around with that and work on your balance that way. We've warmed up pretty well for that posture. Otherwise, feel free to join me. So I'm going to come close to a wall as well for my balance. And then what I'm going to have you do is do a quick check. So bend into your right knee. We're going to try to reach back and grab the inside of our right foot. And so our thumb is pressing against the sole. The rest of my fingers are wrapped around the top of my foot. And so what this pose requires of us is to kind of start extending our leg behind us. And so if this feels really uncomfortable to you, that's where your strap's going to come in. And what you can do is, using your strap or your belt or your hand towel, we're going to create a loop. And we're going to get that loop on the front of our foot. So then when we make our way into dancer, you can use this strap to give your arms extra length to help lift that leg. And so hold on to that strap if you think it's going to be helpful to you. Otherwise, I'll show you the cues with our hands. And so to come into dancer, since it's a balancing posture, let's find a really strong mountain pose here. So ground down through all four corners of both feet. Come back to that engagement in our thighs, engagement in our core. Nice shoulder roll back, crown lifts up, palm shine forwards. From here, we're going to begin to shift our weight into our left foot. Find that grounding through all four corners of that foot. And then on an inhale, we're going to begin to bend into our right knee, reach back, and grab the inside of your right foot. So here's that opportunity to use your strap if you'd like. Exhale, find your balance, find your grounding here. Inhale, we're going to extend our left arm overhead. And then on an exhale, begin to hinge at your hips. So we're sending our torso down towards the parallel point with our mat. And then we're extending our right leg up towards the sky. And so you can bring your hand right here to the wall if that feels good. Or if your balance is feeling pretty good today, maybe you step back and allow your arm to extend. Ooh. Wherever you are, inhale, hug your thighs to the midline. Exhale, square your hip points down at the ground. And take a few breaths here. So find a gazing point. If you have, like me, if you've got some things to look at on your floor, you can find that gazing point here. Maybe step closer to the wall if you need a little bit of more support with your balance. Wherever you are, take one more breath in. Exhale, release. And come back to your strong mountain pose. Close down your gaze for a moment. Notice any differences between your right leg and your left. Maybe any energy that you feel or heat moving about your body. Take another nice breath in. Full breath out. And inhale, let's begin to shift our weight into our right foot this time. So find that comfortable distance between you and the wall, whether you want to try to play with your balance and extend all the way, or be a little bit closer. Exhale, ground down to all four corners of your right foot. Inhale, let's begin to reach back. Bend into your left knee. Grab the inside of your left foot. Again, you have that option to use the strap if you'd like. Exhale here. Find your balance. Find that grounding strength through your right leg. Inhale, extend your right arm overhead. And exhale, begin to hinge at your hips to send your torso down while extending your left leg up towards the sky. And so from here on an inhale, hug your thighs to the midline. Don't let that left knee really sweep out. Exhale, square your hips. So pull that left hip down to level it with your right. And play here for a moment. So maybe test your balance by pulling away from the wall and then coming back to it as needed. Keep pressing the sole of your foot into your right thumb or your left thumb. Ooh. And if you fall out of the posture, feel free to make your way back in. Use the wall as you need. Wherever you are, let's take one more breath in. Exhale, let's release. Come back to our strong mountain pose for just a moment. And then as you're ready, we're going to make our way to seated. So we're going to practice boat pose a little bit. And you can face any direction. You can face the long edge or the short edge of your mat. And from here, let's bend into both knees, plant the soles of our feet in front of us, and find a nice tall seat. So ground down into both sitting bones. Inhale, reach your crown up towards the sky. Maybe give yourself that nice shoulder roll back. And start to feel that engagement in your core. We're going to take our time with this posture. This is one where it's really easy to start to grip into our hip flexors or stress our low back or our neck. So take your time here and come to any variation that your body's at. So one more inhale and exhale. Maybe we begin to extend through our arms, lean back slightly, and you can stay here. Or maybe we extend our arms long, palms reach up towards the sky, gaze lifts slightly. We'll pause here for a couple of breaths. So check in. If you feel tension in your hip flexors, come back and grab your thighs. Otherwise, one more breath in. And exhale, let's release. So let's let your chest rest on your thighs. Relax through the back of your neck and just fold over your knees. Take another couple breaths here. On an inhale, let's rise back up and find our nice tall seat. And so from here, you know some of the foundational postures. So you can always come back here if you feel your core muscles starting to fatigue, and just work on the engagement right here. Or maybe you can begin to extend back. Maybe our palms shine up towards the surface or shine up towards the sky. And then maybe, if it feels accessible to you, we lift one or both of our feet so that our shins are parallel with the mat. We flex into our ankles so we can see our toes. And our gaze is still lifted. So we have this long neck, long spine. We're going to pause here for just another breath. One more inhale. And then exhale, release your feet down, fold over your thighs. And take a few cleansing breaths. So deep breath in. Release your breath fully. Deep breath in. Release your breath fully. And check in with your hips, check in with your low back, check in with your neck. If anything was starting to feel uncomfortable there, please feel free to choose a different option. Choose the option that fits your body best this morning. So last time, so on an inhale, let's rise back up. Grab the back of your thighs for a little support. And we're going to do one last boat pose. So inhale, create space in your spine. Reach your crown up, ground down through both sitting bones. Exhale, begin to extend your arms if you'd like. Lean back a little bit. Begin to hold a little bit more weight in your core, your abdominal muscles. Maybe we extend our palms up to the sky. Maybe this time we stay here if we're starting to feel in our hip flexors, or if we're feeling good, maybe we bend into both knees. And even here, you can grab the backs of your thighs to give yourself a little bit of support, but just make sure our chest is open, our gaze is up. We'll stay here for a couple more breaths. If you'd like, you can play with extending both legs or not. One more breath in. Exhale, let's release. One last fold over. This might feel good in your low back. Take a couple breaths. And inhale, let's rise back up. Good work. So we're going to take a couple seated postures. And so if you have your strap or your belt or your hand towel, you might want to grab it now. We're going to come into a single leg, kind of nose to knee posture. And so if it feels good, maybe bring a lift under your hip points or your sitting bones. Sometimes that just helps create a little bit more space in the back of your leg to make folding over your leg easier. So we're going to extend our right leg long, bend into your left knee, and bring the sole of your left foot into the inside lining of your right thigh. And from here, you can grab your strap and place it around the bottom of your foot or your toe mound. And it just gives your arms a little bit of length so you don't have to go reaching for your foot. So inhale here, reach your crown up. And exhale, we're going to turn our torso so that our sternum is shining over past our toes. Inhale, lift your crown up towards the sky, create space in your spine. And then on an exhale, begin to fold gently at your hips. You can pull a little bit on the strap to help you here. And we're going to begin to slowly fold deeper and deeper. So on an inhale, that's our time to create space. So find length in your spine, reach your crown away from your sacrum. And exhale, fold at your hips. Be mindful that we're not rounding and reaching our knee towards, our nose towards our knee, even though that's the name of the posture. Imagine reaching your chest towards your knee and you're gazing past your toes. So inhale again. Exhale, maybe we fold a little bit deeper. If you're feeling any tension in your left knee, you can bring a block under your left knee. So I can kind of demonstrate that for you. To support that knee. Take a couple more breaths in. A couple more breaths out. In and out. Inhale, let's rise, release our strap. Remove that block if we used it. And we're going to take it to the other side. So if you like that block, keep it handy. We're going to bend into our right knee, bring the sole of our right foot to the inside lining of our left thigh. And maybe we place our support under our right knee. If you don't have a block, you could use a few folded towels or blankets or maybe a bolster or pillow. And then from here, let's bring our strap around the toe mound or the bottom of our left foot. Inhale, ground down through both sitting bones. Exhale, turn your torso so that your sternum is shining over your left toes. Inhale here, reach your crown up towards the sky, create space. And then exhale, at your hips, fold, reaching your chest towards your knee. So inhale, find length, that lift. And exhale, maybe fold a little bit deeper. Inhale, find length. And exhale, fold. Inhale, find length. Exhale, fold. And let's take one more. Inhale. And exhale completely. And then inhale, let's rise, release your strap. And we're going to come into a seated twist. So let's remove our prop if we used one. Keep them close for the next posture. And from here, you can come to our easy seat, comfortable seat, hands to thighs. And we're going to come into a seated twist. So inhale, really reach your crown up. Create a lot of space between the vertebrae of your spine. And exhale, we're going to begin to twist to the right. So left hand can come to right knee, right hand can come behind. Inhale, crown reaches up, create more space. And exhale, from your core, twist a little bit deeper. So our arms are here to guide us, but not to pull our body. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist. Let's take one more. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale to twist. Inhale, unwind. Come back to your comfortable seat. Exhale, hands to your knees. Let's take it to the other side. So inhale, find that length in your spine. And exhale, use that length. And from your core, twist to the left. Right hand comes to left knee, left hand comes behind. And same thing. So inhale, we create this space. Draw your shoulders down away from your ears. Crown lifts. And exhale, from your core, twist a little bit deeper to the left. Inhale, create space. Exhale, twist. Inhale, create space. Exhale, twist. Let's do one more. Inhale, create space, length. And exhale, from your core, maybe twist a little bit deeper. Inhale, unwind. And we're going to come into one last seated posture before we make our way onto our back body. And so our last posture is a bound angle posture. And so I'm going to turn to face you guys. So I'm sitting up on a lift. You might want to have some towels or a prop if you'd like. What we're going to do is we're going to bend into both knees and bring the soles of our feet to touch. And so from here, if you feel any stress in your knees, the first thing you can do is play with sending your hips away from your body. Or if you're looking for more of a stretch, send your hips a little bit closer to your body. If you still feel sensation in your knees, sometimes it helps to put blocks under your knees. If that feels good. And from here, find the position that feels best in your body. So if you're looking for more sensation, you can always play with using your thumbs to open up your feet so you can look down at the soles. Sometimes that brings a little bit more sensation in our body. If your knees are lifted, maybe press your elbows into the inner linings of your thighs. And then from here, if you'd like, you can stay upright, or maybe inhale, create space, and exhale, begin to fold forwards. Find the position that feels comfortable for you. Maybe you plant your hands, maybe you plant your elbows. Maybe you fold a little bit deeper. Wherever you are, keep the back of your neck nice and long. Reach your crown away from your sacrum. Sit points are both grounded down onto the mat. Let's take a couple more breaths here. One more inhale. One more exhale. Inhale, if you folded, let's rise back up. And exhale, let's release. And so take a posture if it feels good. You can always bend into your knees, plant the soles of your feet, and just let your knees sway from side to side if that feels good in your low back, or on your hips. And then for our last posture today, you have the option of staying in it for Shavasana. And so if it feels good, maybe scoot your mat a little bit closer to a wall. So I'm going to scoot the end of my mat up against the base of my wall. And you can choose to have a slight lift here or not. You can have a lift here underneath your hip points, or maybe we save our lift for the back of our head. Wherever you are, if you have a lift or not, we're gonna scooch towards the wall so that one of our hip points, it doesn't matter right or left, is up against the wall. And there's really not a graceful way to do this, but what we're gonna try to do is come back onto our elbows and then slowly shift our body. So we're pulling our elbows towards our mat and we're bringing our legs up the wall. So you can use your elbows and press into them to slide your hips a little bit closer. Kind of shimmy and shake your way into a good spot. And from here, we want our sacrum flushed against the mat. So if that means coming out a little bit away from the wall, that's okay. And from here, you can take any last posture that feels good. So sometimes if your hips, the inside of your hips are feeling a little bit tight, you can spread your legs out to a V, and maybe that feels good. If that bound angle posture felt good, you can always try that here as well. So bring the soles of your feet together. Sometimes it's easier to access this posture on your back, especially if your low back is really tight or your hips. Maybe press into your knees. So take whatever posture feels good for you. And slowly we're going to make our way to legs up the wall. So both of our legs are straight. Let me get a little bit closer. And this is where I'm going to leave you today, to take as much time as you need in Shavasana. And so allow your arms to come to a comfortable resting position. So maybe that's one hand up by your heart or on your chest and one hand on your belly. Maybe your arms are out to the sides, extended. Wherever feels like a comfortable place for you. Let your gaze close down. Let your back melt into the earth, your shoulders, backs of your arms. Relax through the muscles of your face, your jaw, your neck. And stay here as long as you'd like to rest and find stillness.